You ever wonder just how fragile a superpower really is? It's a question we think about a lot today, but history gives us a jaw-dropping example. Just imagine a single event, one so shocking it causes the world's greatest empire to literally start shattering. It creates a power vacuum so huge that a forgotten desert kingdom can rise up and make a play for the whole thing. Well, that's not fiction. That is exactly what happened to Rome.
And it all kicks off with this image of just absolute total humiliation. In the year 260 AD, for the very first time in its centuries-long history, a Roman emperor, Valerian, was captured alive in battle. And if some of the stories are true, the Persian king, Shapur I, actually used him as a human footstool to get on his horse. You just can't overstate the symbolic power of that moment. It was a message to the entire world.
So you have to ask, right? How on earth did the world's greatest superpower suffer a defeat this complete? I mean, this wasn't just a lost battle on some remote frontier. This was a decapitation. How did Rome, the master of the known world, find itself in a crisis this catastrophic? To figure that out, we need to go back to the year 260 AD, to a fateful showdown on Rome's eastern border at a city called Edessa. This is the spot. This is where the first massive domino began to fall. You see, this didn't happen in a vacuum. For years, tensions had been boiling over. This new powerhouse in the east, the Sasanian Persian Empire, led by the super-ambitious King Shapur, had been pushing hard into Roman territory. So Emperor Valerian, who was already in his 60s, he heads east to sort things out. But just as luck, a plague hits his army, weakening it, right as Shapur launches another huge invasion. Still, Valerian met this threat head-on. He marches out with a massive army. According to the Persians themselves, his force numbered 70,000 men. I mean, think about that. That's a colossal army for the time, pulled from almost every corner of the Roman Empire. And the outcome? It was an absolute, unmitigated disaster. Near Edessa, the two armies clashed, and the entire Roman force was just wiped out, annihilated. And Valerian himself, along with his entire senior staff, was taken prisoner. For Rome, this kind of thing just wasn't supposed to happen. It was unthinkable. So let's be crystal clear here. This was so much more than a military defeat. With the emperor captured, the entire chain of command in the east just vaporized. The empire was now effectively headless, right at a moment of extreme danger. Well, news of Valerian's capture spread like wildfire, sending shockwaves across the entire Roman world. With the emperor gone and the biggest army in the east completely shattered, this massive power vacuum opens up. And you know what happens then, right? Ambitious people everywhere start seeing their chance. And almost immediately, the empire starts to break apart. Out in the west, a general named Postumus just carves off his own Gallic empire. Along the Danube River, you've got governors declaring themselves emperor left and right. Even in the devastated east, a Roman general named Macrianus tries to make his own sons the new rulers. The empire was literally disintegrating. So here's the terrifying question on everyone's mind. With Rome's leadership gone, its armies in tatters, and civil wars breaking out everywhere, who on earth could possibly stop the victorious Persians from just rolling over the wealthiest provinces in the east? The answer, it turns out, was going to come from a very, very unexpected place. And that's our cue. Enter the city-state of Palmyra. Now, this wasn't some major Roman capital. It was a semi-independent desert oasis city, a place that got incredibly rich from the caravan trade. And in Rome's darkest hour, Palmyra saw its moment. This slide really gives you a sense of Palmyra's world. It was the city of incredible wealth, sitting right on the edge of all this chaos. With Rome falling apart and Persia on the attack, Palmyra's unique spot in the Syrian desert made it pretty much the only stable power left in the entire region. And Palmyra was uniquely ready for this. I mean, it was perfectly located, it was fabulously rich from all that trade. And here's the real kicker. It had its own powerful army, totally independent of Roman command, with these legendary archers. It was basically its own boss, ready to make a move. And the guy who stepped up to the plate was Palmyra's ruler, a man named Odenathus. He didn't wait around. He rallied what was left of the broken Roman legions, combined them with his own Palmyrene army, and did what no Roman general could. He took the fight straight back to the Persians. And Odaenathus wasn't just successful, he was spectacularly successful. I mean, he drives the Persians completely out of Roman land and even pushes deep into their own territory. Back in Rome, the new emperor, Gallienus, is so desperate for an ally that he showers Odaenathus with titles, basically making him the supreme commander of the entire East. Odaenathus had single-handedly saved the East for Rome. But here's the twist. This alliance, born out of crisis, was not going to last. In 267 AD, Odaenathus is suddenly assassinated, and the leadership of Palmyra, and all of its new power, falls to his brilliant and very ambitious wife.
And this is where one of history's most incredible figures steps onto the stage, Queen Zenobia. She officially takes control as regent for her little boy, but let's be real, she was way more than just a placeholder. Unlike her husband, Zenobia was not content to just be a loyal partner to Rome. Oh no, she had much bigger plans. Just look at this map. The speed of Zenobia's conquests is breathtaking. Starting in 270 AD, she unleashes the Palmyrene army and just starts gobbling up Rome's wealthiest eastern provinces, including the grand prize, Egypt. She wasn't saving Rome anymore. She was carving out her very own empire from its broken body. But here's the thing about Zenobia's timing. It couldn't have been worse, because also in 270 AD, a new emperor came to power back in Rome. His name was Aurelian, and this guy was a tough-as-nails career soldier who would earn the nickname Restorer of the World, and he was not about to let his empire stay divided.
Aurelian did not mess around. His response was methodical. It was fast, and it was brutal. In a lightning campaign in 272, he marches his veteran legions east, smashes Zenobia's armies in 2 huge battles, and lays siege to Palmyra itself. Zenobia was caught trying to escape to Persia, and just like that, her short-lived empire completely collapsed. So what happened to the rebel queen? Well, this is where history gets a little fuzzy, giving us 2 totally different stories. One version says she was paraded through Rome in golden chains during Aurelian's victory parade, but then was given a nice villa to live out her days. The other, more tragic tale says she starved herself to death on the long journey to Rome. Her final fate? It's still a mystery. In the end, Palmyra's spectacular shot at creating an empire was incredibly brief, just 3 years. It was like a supernova, right? A brilliant, blinding flash born from Rome's crisis, and then an equally swift collapse once Rome got its act together. It's such a powerful lesson, though, in how fragile an empire can be. The capture of just one man kicked off a chain reaction that nearly destroyed everything. And it really makes you think, doesn't it? In our complex, interconnected world, what single point of failure, what single event could send a modern superpower into that same kind of tailspin? What's our Battle of Edessa?